Hello, SCG fam. This is Irene. I thought this would be an interesting topic to chat about. 40-year-olds are now having more babies than teens. And I remember coming up, I'm in the Gen X category, that teen births were exploding at the time when I was a young person, and they were all on the morning talk shows and all of that, and the daytime stuff, and you could see it in your communities, and they still have some reality shows about teen births today, where they follow teens who are having babies. But to see this is somewhat unprecedented. Even in basic human nature, we're just used to the younger people having the babies. The 20s, I guess, is the main era where we're expecting for families to grow. But now, 40-year-olds and older are the ones that are bringing in the most babies. Even though we also know that the birth rate, the marriage rate, all of that is at an all-time low as well. But this is an explanation of why teen births are down, according to some online research. So for teens, better education, more young people are learning about using effective birth control, public health programs. Decades of targeted support have successfully helped lower teen pregnancy and changing choices. Teens are waiting longer to start making babies or being intimate, I'll say. And I know, especially growing up, I'm used to hearing and seeing the opposite, but wow, it's a changing time, and it seems like such a drastic time effect when I was growing up to now being in this age range, in the 40s age range myself. Why births after 40 are up? Career and school. Women spend more time in college and building job stability before starting families. Medical help. There's better fertility treatments like IVF and egg freezing, making pregnancy possible later in life. And life goals. Many people wait till they feel financially ready and find the right partner. So to me, all of this is making sense. In theory, this is kind of the goal. Maybe not the age of 40. I'll just say maybe late 20s and up. This is kind of the goal for our society, was, not teen births, but, people being established enough, maybe in their later 20s, they're at least starting their career. And this is when you start your family. This is kind of like what ideally we should be going for. Though it is later in life, I still respect the wait. I respect the fact that the young people are thinking about, waiting later for intimacy. They have learned from this birth control situations and, being safe when it comes to things in the bedroom. As a single Christian girl, I don't edify or say, go ahead and do it with protection, because in my faith, that's just not how we go. But I do commend, I'm happy, I'll say, that people are being more responsible with their bodies. And according to this, some people are being more responsible to the point, as the word of God and the Bible says, just waiting and not just jumping into things in the bedroom at a young age just because everyone else is doing it. It's a certain time in your life that you should do it now, and you see everyone else doing it. But people aren't falling for that, and some of the young people, the teens, are like, hey, I'm not really interested in that. That's not what I really want. I may be focused on other things. And even, I think the 40-year-olds have a connection with the teens, because it talks about, them being financially ready and finding the right partner. So being a teen and having the wisdom enough to say, okay, I do also want to be financially ready, and I do want to find the right partner. Sadly, it's taking people so long to their 40s. Not everyone, but according to this article, it's a big trend, that is taking time for people to figure things out with their life and with their partners and who they're with and their careers, of course. So to see that people are being more mindful about their bodies and starting families and what that will do to a child if you're not ready, if you're not in the best situation. I'm not saying, hey, if you are in that place, there are programs and things that can help you. So it's not like, hey, you just can't have a family. People have great support systems. They have other family members that can help them in that scenario. So I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if you want to do this on your own, you're setting yourself up for the best success. If you wait later in life, you have your career together, and you find the right partner. That's the most important part, finding the right partner. And for me, getting married, because that's kind of what Single Christian Girl, SCG, we talk about, is marriage, love, relationships, and our faith. And it's not just for the girls, it's for the guys, it's for everyone. But for me, in my lifetime, this is just a huge switch up. To me, it's a little bit jarring, it's a little bit amazing, it's kind of miraculous. I'm like, it's an answered prayer on some level. But I think of the people in their 20s and 30s who are kind of in a limbo scenario and still trying to figure out life, and that's okay. A lot of times they say, don't worry about your age and doing things at a certain time in life. Everything's going to line up. And then they talk about success and some of the celebrities and actors who didn't get their start till their 40s. They didn't start getting big until their 40s. So it's like, okay, the traditional timelines of life that we've had, and even our life expectancy is longer as well. There's a lot of blessings as we're going forward in this timeline. And I hope we kind of stay in a similar trajectory when it comes to this area of our life and our community, our society. And hopefully a lot of us are led by God, connected with God, connecting in our faith. And that's going to kind of help you sustain you in these middle years when you're not sure what you're doing. You're still trying to grow as a person, and it's okay to be able to do that. And it's okay to take your time. And through technology and all this progression, it allows you to take a little bit more time and be a little bit more mindful about what you want your future to look like. And I wonder what the thoughts are on the other side. Are people wasting their 20s and 30s? They should be having children and families and all that, even if they don't have everything together. Well, I'll say for this, I understand the scenario of not being able to find the right partner, because that's the part that really stands out for me, and people just not being ready, guys not being ready. Some of the games that are still being played out here, but also just the fact that there's so many options. People are online, they're picking and choosing like it's a candy store in different ways of different partners, and just trying everything out until they've exhausted all options, and then maybe possibly that's the only negative I see here, is just that sometimes people are taking too much time just because they maybe want to stay in that party lifestyle. They want to try all of the options and do all of the things. And in some ways, it's fun to try options. I'm not against that. You can meet people, you can build connections, but to take people to the bedroom and try a lot of intimate things with them, and you don't really want to spend your life with them, you're not sure if they're a life partner, you don't see them as a life partner, you just want to do this for your own pleasure. These are some negative things, but that's been happening generally. But if you're taking that much time to figure out what you want in a partner, and you're doing it in that way, that's a bad thing. But as for us women, for the most part, we are the waiters. We're the ones that are in the waiting season. Men as well, because they do have to build their careers and build themselves as men first. But once they feel that they've built that, then they can make the option to choose. While we are building ourselves as women. You know, it's a new day and time. I believe also the fact that women are more equal in a lot of ways. This is also the reason why it's the 40 and up situation. So we're building ourselves in our careers as well. And we're not just sitting there waiting for him to choose us and all of that scenario. But once he gets himself together, we still have to be in that waiting time where, okay, we're maybe getting courted by him, but we also have to wait until he's ready to take that step of proposal, marriage, and all of that stuff. And usually when men are starting to court and they really take you seriously, they court you. They use that word. You usually don't hear that word before they want to be in a serious relationship with you. You're maybe meeting people, building friendships, but once you use the word courting, and a lot of people, especially men of faith, it doesn't take them a whole lot of time once they start courting to know. Now, sometimes they can court and find out, oh, there's different issues that we have, we're not going to mesh, and then they can step out and leave that situation and go and see who they really need to be with. That can happen. That's whole process of courting, is to also be sure and not just jump into something. If you feel like this is your person and God has showed that to you and revealed that to you, or you have a feeling and you see all these signs that match up, and then you try to court that person, you know, that's just the way that you should do it. But again, just because you start courting doesn't mean you're going to finish courting, doesn't mean it's going to end up in marriage. So it's a lot of different factors here, but I think this is great news. I think this is something to celebrate. I think this is something to applaud in our community. There's so many things going on wrong, a lot of craziness, a lot of issues that we have generally within our world. But I honestly see this as a thumbs up. What do you guys think? Do you think that people are wasting their 20s and 30s? Do you think that this is bad news? I'd like to hear your perspective. Let me know right here. You can email me, drop your thoughts in the comments, and we will talk again. This is Irene, SCG. All the best, and God bless.